Every night, millions of seniors go to bed thinking they're safe. But shocking research reveals the way you sleep could secretly raise your risk of stroke before morning. Every 40 seconds, someone suffers a stroke, over 22,000 people a day. And here's the part almost nobody knows. Up to 25% of strokes happen during sleep or right after waking. Think about it. You feel fine when you close your eyes. By morning, your brain may be starved of oxygen. Why? Because the wrong sleeping position can twist arteries, cut blood flow, and raise stroke risk by as much as 60%. Here's the kicker: 99% of seniors have no idea. They think it's just about hours of sleep. But science shows positions like stacking pillows or bending your neck can slash blood flow by almost half. Half. That means your brain runs on fumes for 6 or 7 hours. No wonder so many seniors wake up dizzy, foggy, or worse. And the most dangerous position of all, the one people believe is the safest. Studies show it can boost stroke risk more than 60%. The information in this video is backed by real science. We've spent hours digging through peer-reviewed research, and every single reference is linked in the description below. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments, what's your usual sleeping position? Let's start with number 5. Number 5. Arm under the head position. The first position on our list might surprise you because it's one of the most common. Sleeping with your arm under your head. Many people find this comforting, like cradling themselves into a safe cocoon. But what feels good to your muscles can quietly sabotage your circulation. When you place your arm beneath your pillow and tilt your head sideways, you're not just compressing your shoulder. You're also squeezing the major arteries that run through the side of your neck, particularly the carotid artery. This artery is like a highway delivering blood to your brain. Even partial compression reduces the amount of oxygen-rich blood reaching those delicate tissues. Over the course of several hours, that restricted flow can increase clot risk and trigger small silent ischemic events, tiny strokes that often go unnoticed until they add up to serious damage. A fascinating study published in the journal Sleep Medicine tracked patients who habitually slept with their arms under their heads. Using Doppler ultrasound, researchers measured real-time blood flow through the carotid arteries. They found reductions of up to 20% compared to neutral sleeping positions. A 20% drop might not sound huge, but think about your brain running at 80% fuel for 6 or 7 hours every night. Over years, that repeated stress can accelerate artery thickening, raise blood pressure, and prime the brain for stroke. There's also the issue of nerve compression. Keeping your arm under your head doesn't just restrict blood, it also presses on nerves that regulate blood vessel tone. That means your vessels may not widen the way they should, further compounding the lack of flow. People who wake up with tingling or numbness in their hands after sleeping this way are experiencing the visible warning signs. What they don't feel is the hidden stress on their cerebral circulation. And while numb fingers may recover in minutes, the damage to arteries can accumulate silently for years. So, what's the fix? The best adjustment is to support your head and neck with a proper pillow instead of using your arm as a prop. A medium firm pillow that keeps your neck aligned reduces pressure on the arteries and nerves. Another trick is to train yourself to keep both arms lower than your shoulders when you drift off, which naturally reduces the urge to tuck an arm under. It may feel strange at first, but within a few weeks your body adapts, and your brain will thank you with sharper mornings and healthier arteries. Now let's move to the next sleeping position, one that looks harmless on the surface but puts dangerous stress on your chest and neck. Number 4. Sleeping on the stomach. At first glance, sleeping on your stomach seems harmless. Some even say it feels natural, like sinking into the mattress and shutting out the world. But for your brain and blood vessels, this position is a quiet threat. When you lie face down, you're forcing your head to twist sharply to one side so you can breathe. That twist doesn't just feel stiff in the morning, it compresses the vertebral arteries, the smaller but vital blood highways that run along the spine and into the back of the brain. These arteries supply the brainstem and cerebellum, the control centers for breathing, balance, and coordination. Even mild compression can reduce blood flow significantly over the course of the night. One study published in Neurology Research International examined blood flow in people who adopted the stomach position compared to back or side positions. The researchers found that vertebral artery flow dropped by 15 to 25% when the head was turned more than 45 degrees for extended periods, which is exactly what happens when you bury your face into the pillow. Imagine your brain stem running on only three-quarters of the oxygen it needs every night. That doesn't just increase stroke risk. It also explains why so many stomach sleepers wake up dizzy, groggy, or with pounding headaches. The danger goes beyond the arteries in the neck. Lying on the stomach compresses the chest cavity, making it harder for the lungs to expand fully. This shallow breathing reduces oxygen saturation in the blood, which forces the heart to pump harder. Over time, that extra stress raises nighttime blood pressure, one of the most important stroke risk factors. A 2021 study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine measured oxygen levels in different sleep positions and found that stomach sleepers averaged oxygen saturation nearly 3% lower than side sleepers. 3% might seem like a small number, but for the brain, it's the difference between thriving and slowly starving. And then there's the pressure on nerves. Stomach sleepers often report tingling or numbness in the arms and hands because of nerve compression in the shoulders. This nerve stress doesn't just affect comfort, it disrupts the nervous system's control of blood vessel tone, making circulation even less stable. If you're a lifelong stomach sleeper, breaking the habit feels nearly impossible. But you can train your body to adjust by using a firm pillow placed under one side of your chest and stomach, which gently encourages a tilt towards side sleeping instead. Another trick is to keep a thin pillow between your knees, which makes rolling fully onto your stomach less likely. With consistency, most people retrain themselves in a matter of weeks, and the payoff, better oxygen, freer blood flow, and a lower stroke risk, is worth the effort. Now let's step into the next position, one that millions think is restful for the heart but actually creates hidden risks for the brain. Number 3. Reclines semi-upright position. Many people believe that propping themselves up with several pillows or even sleeping in a recliner chair is safer for the heart and lungs. They often do this to fight snoring, acid reflux, or shortness of breath at night. And while this semi-upright posture can sometimes ease heartburn or reduce snoring, it carries hidden dangers for the brain. When you sleep reclined but not flat, the angle shifts blood flow away from the brain toward the lower body. Gravity pulls blood downward, and your brain has to work harder to maintain a steady supply. Over hours of sleep, this causes small but repeated reductions in cerebral perfusion, the medical term for blood flow to the brain. A study published in Stroke examined older patients who regularly slept in reclined positions. Researchers found cerebral blood flow dropped nearly 12% compared to when the same patients lay flat with a single pillow. 12% may not sound dramatic in one night, but night after night, year after year, this weakens the brain's resilience. It makes clots more likely to form and increases the risk of ischemic events. For people with already narrowed arteries, this drop can become the tipping point that sparks a major stroke. This posture also disrupts natural blood pressure cycles. Normally, pressure dips 10 to 20% at night, letting arteries recover. But at an incline, the body struggles to regulate. In some cases, pressure remains high, straining brain vessels. In others, it drops too low, starving the brain of oxygen. A 2019 study in the Journal of Hypertension tracked more than 2,000 adults and revealed those sleeping at greater than a 30-degree incline had a 34% higher risk of nocturnal hypertension and a 29% greater risk of ischemic stroke within 10 years. There's also the problem of the neck. Sleeping semi-upright often means the head bends forward slightly, especially in recliner chairs. This can compress the airway, lowering oxygen, while also pinching vertebral arteries at the base of the neck. That dangerous combination, low oxygen plus reduced blood flow, is a recipe for vascular events. People who wake up groggy or with headaches after dozing in recliners are already experiencing early warning signs. So, what's the safer solution? Moderation. Instead of stacking pillows, use a wedge pillow that supports the torso without creating a steep angle. Keeping the incline under 20 degrees helps airflow while minimizing circulation problems. And if you rely on a recliner, choose one with proper neck support. These small changes protect your brain while still helping with reflux or breathing issues. Next, let's uncover a position that millions adopt for comfort, especially couples, but which secretly loads dangerous pressure onto the neck arteries. Number 2. Side sleeping with the neck twisted. Side sleeping is often praised as one of the healthiest ways to rest, especially for digestion and snoring. But the devil is in the details. Side sleeping turns risky when the neck is twisted or bent unnaturally, something that happens to millions every night. This usually occurs when the pillow is too high or too low, forcing the head to tilt upward or downward compared to the spine. The result is a kink in the neck that compresses the carotid and vertebral arteries. These vessels are lifelines, carrying blood to the brain. Hours spent with them narrowed slows circulation, raises pressure, and creates the perfect environment for clot formation. A 2020 study in the European Journal of Neurology looked at patients who suffered strokes during sleep. 31% reported waking in extreme neck flexed or twisted positions. Ultrasound imaging confirmed that certain neck angles reduced arterial diameter by up to 40%. Imagine water trying to move through a narrowed pipe. Pressure builds, flow weakens, and blockages form. That is exactly what happens inside the brain when the neck is forced into awkward angles for hours. The risk doesn't stop there. Twisting the neck night after night can cause microtrauma in artery walls. Over years, these tiny injuries allow plaque buildup, stiffening the arteries and making rupture more likely. This is why side sleepers with poor pillow support often develop not only chronic neck pain, but also higher stroke risk. The damage is slow, silent, and cumulative, striking later when the body is less resilient. Then there's the oxygen problem. A poorly aligned neck can partially block the airway, triggering mild sleep apnea. Apnea means breathing stops for seconds at a time. Even short interruptions lower oxygen levels and put tremendous strain on the heart and brain. The American Sleep Association reports that untreated apnea increases stroke risk by up to 4 times. Poor neck alignment and side sleeping is one of the silent culprits that worsens apnea. The solution is simple: proper pillow alignment. Your pillow should fill the space between shoulder and head, keeping the neck straight as if you were standing. A medium to firm pillow works best. Adding a smaller pillow between the knees also keeps the spine aligned. With these adjustments, side sleeping becomes safe and protective rather than dangerous. Now we've reached the most shocking position of all, the one many assume is safest, yet science shows it carries the single greatest risk overnight. Number 1. Flat on the back with 2 or more pillows. For decades, lying flat on the back was called the natural way to sleep. It looks balanced and reduces pressure on joints. But research shows this posture, especially with 2 or more pillows under the head, is the single riskiest position for stroke. The danger comes from airway collapse, oxygen loss, and artery compression that together create a perfect storm. When you lie flat, gravity pulls the tongue and soft tissues of the throat backward. Adding multiple pillows forces the head forward, which narrows the airway even more. This often triggers sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops for seconds at a time. Most people never notice, but every pause means oxygen plummets. A large study in chest tracked more than 4,000 adults for a decade and found those with apnea caused by back sleeping had a 65% higher stroke risk than side sleepers. Each drop in oxygen weakens blood vessels, makes clots more likely, and spikes blood pressure. The stacked pillow setup also bends the neck forward. This flexion compresses the carotid arteries, the main blood highways to the brain. Imaging studies in the Journal of Clinical Neuroscience revealed that bending the neck more than 30 degrees can cut carotid blood flow by nearly 50%. That means your brain is running on half its usual supply for hours. Combined with apnea, It's like starving your brain while stressing your heart at the same time. Another hidden danger is blood pooling. On the back, gravity encourages blood to settle in the chest, raising pressure inside the skull. Higher intracranial pressure makes it harder for blood to circulate smoothly through delicate brain vessels. A 2018 study in the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases found back sleepers had higher rates of nighttime hypertension, irregular heart rhythms, and oxygen desaturation compared to side sleepers. Each factor independently raises stroke risk, but together they form a deadly trio. The solution isn't to ban back sleeping completely, but to fix how it's done. Limit yourself to one supportive pillow that keeps the neck level with the spine. If you must elevate, use a wedge pillow to raise the entire torso instead of just the head. These adjustments reduce airway collapse and prevent artery compression, turning a dangerous posture into a safer one. This is why sleeping flat on the back with multiple pillows isn't just uncomfortable, it's the most dangerous stroke risk of all. Now you know the truth. Sleep is not just about comfort, it can be life or death. Sleeping with your arm under your head can cut off circulation. Lying on your stomach can crush arteries and strain the lungs. Propping yourself upright in a recliner pulls blood away from the brain. Twisting your neck on your side quietly reduces oxygen. And back sleeping with stacked pillows, the position many believe is safest, is actually the most dangerous of all, slashing blood flow and raising stroke risk by more than 60%. Here's the good news. You don't need pills, surgery, or expensive treatments to protect your brain. Just awareness and small adjustments. Choosing the right pillow, avoiding extreme angles, and supporting your body correctly can turn nights from silent danger into true healing. With simple changes, your brain will stay sharper, mornings clearer, and long-term stroke risk far lower. Strokes don't announce themselves. They strike fast, often during sleep when you least expect it. But tonight, you can change that story. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what's your usual sleeping position? And if this video helped you, smash like. Hit subscribe and share it with someone you care about. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.